We're Hassani and Danielle Pettiford, and we're a real couple with real problems who almost called it quits.
I was very frustrated. I became very disconnected, very jaded and cold.
We have 4 children, going on 20 years of marriage, and we practice what we preach.
Our mission, to change the way couples relate to one another and teach them the skills needed to improve the quality of their relationships. This is the Couples Academy Show.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you? I am Lakeisha Hines, and you are watching the Couples Academy Show. Danielle and Hassani are doing what Danielle and Hassani do this morning. So you're stuck with me. So I know that Hassani and Danielle have been in this series about literally when you are having to deal with a spouse who might be a little difficult to communicate with. And so we are definitely going to continue that conversation as we're taking a deep dive into that. I see that we do have some people joining us this morning. I'm going to take a quick break and then we will jump into this topic and we'll get started. So welcome. Thank you guys for being here and get ready for an awesome show.
If you're a man and you have a pulse, then you need to join this program. You're a husband, you're a father, you're a leader. You have the weight of the world on your shoulders. You have to be everything for everyone, but do you know who and how to be for you? You're still in search of your own significance. You're in internal battle with your own vices. You're questioning, do I even know what it means to be a man? I know I'm supposed to be there for others, but what about me? The fact is, you need a model. You need a code to live by, a system of principles to govern your life. You need an internal compass to guide your every decision. You need the 4 securities to build your own kingdom. What you need is the foundry. In short, a foundry is a facility where castings are produced by melting metal, pouring liquid metal into a mold, and then allowing it to solidify. Well, this is where we're testing the mettle of men. Foundry is a 12-week men's-only coaching program. It is a brotherhood that will take each man through a purification process of the heart, mind, and soul. We here at Couples Academy promise you that if you give us 12 weeks of your life, you will no longer recognize it. If you care about the improving of your life, your marriage, and your family, register today.
To the wives struggling to move forward, I know that you're hurt, filled with doubt, fear, anger, and resentment. I know you're trying to be your best self throughout this recovery process, all while still having to be mom, daughter, sister, friend, and so much more. I know it feels impossible to be there for everyone else when at times your journey feels so isolated and alone. I know that more than once a day, you scream on the inside, I can't take this anymore. I know there are days when you feel like you want to give up and run away. I know you spend too much time sitting in your car parked in the driveway to get your head right so that you can keep moving. I know this feels like a lot of work with no guarantees. And I know you wonder, what happened to me? Who am I? And why am I here? More than you'd like to admit. I know all of this because I once felt the way you do too. It may not be evident by looking around because we all wear our masks, but you're not the only one who feels like you'll never get back to you. That's why I've launched Unearthed, Unearthed is a 12-week group coaching program focused on discovering the woman within. Just as the earth hides all kinds of precious stones waiting to be found, buried within every woman are the seeds of wisdom, strength, purpose, and passion waiting to be brought to the light. Unearthed will take you through a spiritual, emotional, and physical excavation process that will reveal to you who God designed you to be and guide you through a process to embrace and activate your true identity. When you complete this journey, you'll have a new focus aligned with your core values so that you can begin to feel your life again and discover that your gifts aren't buried, but planted and waiting to be unearthed. Register today.
Good morning. Good morning again. I'm Lakeisha Hines. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Just wanted to share information about Foundry and Unearthed. You know, I'm not biased, right? If I'm going to give you what's going on for the men, I have to give you what's going on for the ladies as well. So you got both. And I hope that you guys were signed up. These are awesome programs and can really help to continue your journey toward transformation and healing. Sometimes we need to do things individually and then come back together. Sometimes we need to do them simultaneously where you're working together, but also having your individual work. So please, please, please register, sign up for Foundry Men, sign up for Unearthed Women. Good morning, Mr. Vashon. Hello, Shalise. Mr. Carter, good morning. Hi, Kay, Emanuela, Jaguar, Faithful. Miss Jewel, hey, sis. Hi, Sherry, Lisa, Gonzalez, what up, fam? Ralph, Sandy, Devlin, good morning. Good morning, Jessica. I love Derek 22. Thank you guys so much for being here. And hi, Glendora, how are you? Some of our Last Chance Weekend family is definitely in the house this morning. So happy to see you guys. Dr. eBay, gosh, I hope I said that right. Hello. Tell us where you're streaming from. That's always good to know. We love to know where you guys are in various parts of the world, various parts of the country. So please post where you are tuning in from. All right, you guys. So let's jump right in. We are talking about how to communicate with a difficult spouse, how you need to move forward with them, how you need to communicate, how you need to show up. And hopefully, if you are the one that is difficult to communicate with, I hope that you are the one that's actually watching this morning. But if not, you can always share this video with your spouse. Because guess what? Sometimes they're not here and you are. And I caution you too, if you're going to share that video with your spouse, that you don't do it in an accusatory manner. Oh, you know, sometimes you go to church and the sermon is good or the message is good, or maybe you listen to a podcast and it really speaks to you, but you're thinking about your spouse the whole time. Like, oh, they need this message. I caution you to be very careful if you are passing this video on to your spouse, that you look for opportunities for yourself and that you lead that conversation with things that you identify that you can work on, and then talk to your spouse about some things that they possibly might be able to work on. You see what I did there? All right. So the first tip we are going to get into today is avoid generalizations like you always or you never. It is so important to avoid this verbiage. Main reason, when you say you always do something or you never do something, the times that your spouse actually did do the thing that you're talking about, literally you make them feel as if that it's null and void, that it wasn't significant, that it wasn't important, that it didn't matter to you, and that you don't care about the times that they actually did do those things. That will not motivate your spouse to want to continue doing the things that you're asking them to do. So you want to avoid saying you never, you always. Likewise, the times that they don't do it, the times that they don't say it, the times that they don't show up in the way that you don't want them to, then you are not acknowledging those times. You're disregarding them. You're ignoring them. You're making them feel as if it's not important and it's not significant. So do your best. I mean, your best to avoid saying those words. You always, you never. Now, I'm going to use the word never for our next tip. When I say never argue in front of your children, this is so important. Okay, so it doesn't matter the age of your children. There is still a lasting impact that they will have when they encounter these arguments between you and your spouse. The younger they are, the deeper a lot of times the impact is. And it's deep no matter what age, right? But let me just break it down for you. So when you're dealing with young children, let's say 2 and under, those kids have no clue what you're talking about. They don't know what you're saying. All they feel is the energy. They hear the volume. They can tell that it's loud and escalated if you're yelling. And all they respond to is that energy and the volume and the tone. Because when you speak to them in a very soft, calm, you're usually speaking very slowly. So that's calming and reassuring to them. So when you are escalated, be it in volume, tone, body language, whatever it is, they're responding to that energy and the shift in the volume and the tone. And the emotion is fear. And so they experience a lot of fear, and you're typically not even paying attention to them because you're in the midst of this conversation, this argument, and you're not even aware of the effect that it's having on your children. As they get older and they are able to understand language and they understand that it is in fact an argument, the impact still is deep because now they hear the words, what you're saying to each other. You're also teaching them that this is how you're supposed to communicate with your spouse. And you're teaching them an inappropriate way to handle a disagreement or conflict. Remember, as parents, we're their first teachers. We are to model the behavior that we want to see. And so if you are arguing with your spouse in front of them, you're showing them that this is how they're supposed to interact with their spouses as well. And also, it can lead your kids to feel as if whatever's going on between the two of you is their fault, that you're arguing because of them. There's some content that our kids do not need to hear. They should not be privy to. So when you need to have a conversation with your spouse, a heated fellowship, not an argument, a heated fellowship. When you need to have one of those, it needs to happen behind closed doors, preferably when the children are not at home or once they've gone to bed, they're sleeping. And if that's not an option because maybe they are still doing school from home or maybe they're homeschooled, whatever the case may be, then you guys get in the car, go for a drive, go to the park, go somewhere where you can sit and have a conversation. Maybe you need to go somewhere in public like a Starbucks so that you know, most likely you won't show out in front of other people and you'll be very mindful of your tone and your volume because you don't want other people in your business and you don't want them hearing what it is that you're discussing. So your behavior tends to be a little bit better when you're in public. So you may need to do that. But however it goes, do your absolute best not to argue in front of your children. Okay. So the next tip is do not be afraid to apologize. Saying I'm sorry is not a sign of weakness. I'm smiling on this one because I don't like to apologize. I really, really don't. I will do it, but I don't like it. It doesn't feel good on my inside parts. So do you know what? That motivates me to act right. It motivates me to change my behavior. You guys have heard me talk about this so many times about this pop-off spirit. That is one of the reasons why the pop-off spirit had to go. She had to die because I don't like arguing. I don't like arguing, and I also don't like apologizing. So I'm like, I need to do whatever I need to do on the front end so I don't have to apologize on the back end. But as I said, I will do it. I will humble myself. I will put my pride aside and I will say, I'm sorry. Often there is an offense unintentionally unbeknownst to you, and your spouse may bring something to you that was offensive to them, and you had no clue, no idea that what you said was hurtful or what you did was hurtful. So there was no way to avoid it because you didn't even know it was something that might be hurtful or offensive to your spouse. So when they bring it to you, you cannot allow fear, pride, dissatisfaction with apologizing to prevent you from doing the right thing. Because at the end of the day, guess what? If the shoe was on the other foot, wouldn't you want them to apologize to you? Wouldn't you want to hear, I apologize for what I said or for what I did? Wouldn't you want them to do whatever they had within their power to make it right, to rectify the situation to the best of their ability? I already know the answer to that question is yes. Therefore, be the bigger person. Apologize. Again, saying I'm sorry is not a sign of weakness. I don't know who taught us that. I don't know where we got that from. It's actually a sign of strength, being able to humble yourself, being able to show empathy and experience empathy and sympathy for another person takes strength. Man, it's so high up there on that EQ measurement. And if you're not familiar with EQ or your EQ, it's your emotional intelligence, but it stands for emotional quotient. However, it is about emotional intelligence. Google it, look it up. It's important. We all need to improve and increase our emotional intelligence. Guys, you are watching the Couples Academy show. My name is Lakeisha Hines again. Thank you so much for joining us. I really want to talk to you guys about something that is so exciting. We are so excited here at Couples Academy about the Couples Academy app. If you have not downloaded this app, I need you to, as soon as you stop watching this broadcast, I need you to go and download the app. Here's more information.
Welcome to the Couples Academy app. The Couples Academy app is your go-to hub for how to do marriage right. Get started with our app today by perusing our amazing features that conveniently allow you to connect. This app is packed with powerful content and resources to help you grow and stay connected. With this app, you can watch our messages, find marriage resources, watch, listen, and read the real-life stories of restored couples, sign up for events, read articles and blog posts, stay up to date with push notifications, share your favorite messages via Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or email, and download messages for offline listening. For more information about the Couples Academy app, go to couplesacademy.org.
Okay, so I have said to you before that Hassani is biased, and I love the commercial because it will let you know whether you are a Droid user or an Apple product user. There is room for you. There's space for you. You are welcome. Go to wherever you need to go on your phone and download the app. We got a couple questions in here, and I am going to answer some of them because they are applicable to what I was just talking about with apologizing. And I think it was an awesome question. Lisa says, how do you know when an apology is genuine? Are they saying sorry to shut the spouse up? Woo! Lisa, what a weighted question. Truth of the matter is, I do not know your spouse. I do not know your situation. So I'm going to speak generally. Generally, do people say sorry to shut the other person up? Yes, that absolutely does happen. So do I know if that's what your spouse is doing? No, I do not. Because again, I don't know him and I do not know your situation. But I will tell you this. The apology should have 5 different components. The first thing is the language, the apology language. Do you want to hear, I am sorry? You guys have to have a conversation about what verbiage you need to hear, Lisa, personally, that makes you feel as if it is genuine. Do you need to hear the words, I apologize? Do you need to hear, you know what? I made a mistake and I deeply regret the pain, the hurt that it caused you. What language do you need to hear? That's number one. Number two, they need to accept their responsibility. Have you been in a situation where someone has apologized to you and they said, you know, I'm sorry I did what I did, but you did XYZ, and that's why I did what I did? Man, that's not genuine. That's not sincere. It literally is not taking responsibility for the role that they played in this discord that you are having. So there has to be an accepting of responsibility. I was wrong. I made a mistake. I messed up. I missed it. There was a cue. I missed it. I didn't hear you. I wasn't listening. Whatever the case may be, there has to be an acceptance of responsibility. Then restitution. So how do we make it right? And the person who is at fault has to ask the person who is offended or hurt, what can I do to make it right? What can I say to make it right? There has to be restitution. And then there should be a genuine repentance, right? Turning away from that previous behavior. I don't know what it was that was said or done, but there should be a turnabout. There should be a turnaround where we're not repeating the same words, the same mistakes. There should be genuine repentance and understanding. We're all human beings. We're flawed. None of us are perfect. We're going to make mistakes, right? So all you can do is put your best foot forward, make your best effort, and say, you know what? I will do my best. I will try my hardest not to do that again, not to respond that way again, not to say what I said again. And then the fifth step is to apologize. Like, sorry, we're on apologies. Ask for forgiveness. That's the fifth step. Ask for forgiveness. And these 5 components should be included every single time. Regret, responsibility, restitution, repentance, and requesting forgiveness. And again, even with that language, what does that need to sound like? Will you please forgive me? I hope you'll forgive me. Do you need time to think about it, let it marinate before you forgive? I'm sure, depending on the level of the offense, you may need some turnaround time to give that forgiveness, but it still should be requested regardless of what they're thinking the turnaround time should be. And then the last one regarding that I want to put out there is from I Love Derek 22. What if you were always the bigger person? I'm tired of being the one to cower down and keep the peace. I do my best to see his side, but it is not reciprocated. So the word that you used, coward down, is right in alignment with what I'm talking about. I Love Derek. It is not a sign of weakness for you to be the bigger person, for you to apologize, for you to keep the peace, for you to do your best to see his side. That's what you're supposed to do. Remember, we cannot control the behavior of anyone else. The only person we can control is us. At the end of the day, we are accountable for our behavior. We are accountable for our words and our actions and our thoughts and how we respond in these situations. So I don't know if you're a person of faith or not. If you are, understand that your vengeance comes from the Lord, and it's not for you to try to take over, control that situation. No, you do what you're supposed to do, and then you let God do the rest. If you are not a person of faith, cool beans, no judgment, no issue. You still should be the bigger person. You still should do the right thing, because again, you have to be able to sleep at night. You have to be able to walk away from whatever decision that you make feeling confident and comfortable and convinced that you did the right thing, and not convicted. Because whatever you choose to do, if you walk away feeling convicted or you feel uncomfortable, you feel troubled in your heart and your mind and your spirit, then you know you didn't respond in the right way. So it is up to that person to do the work that they need to do so that they can show up for you the way that you need them to. You're saying you do your best to see his side. It's not reciprocated. You continue doing what you know is right. Communicate, though, to your spouse that, listen, I feel this is one-sided, and I definitely want to be in a position where I feel heard, where I feel validated, and where you are actually taking ownership for your role and how you're showing up in this relationship. Okay. But okay, I see what you're saying. You are a person of faith. Okay, good. So then listen, like I said, God said, vengeance is mine. So you have to do what you know is right. Be led by your higher power, and pray for your spouse that God will open his eyes and his ears and his heart to receive so that he can see and hear and be able to see the error of his ways. Okay. All right, so let's jump back in to our tips. And thank you guys so much for your questions. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so our next tip is I love Derek's comment. All right, so our next tip is, let's see, what do I want to talk to you guys about? We talked about apologies. Oh, this is my favorite. Don't try to win. Seek solutions that are mutually beneficial. So opponents don't win. If I'm fighting against you and you're fighting against me, no one wins. If we are to come together, which is exactly what the enemy does not want us to do, but if we are to come together, get in agreement, get in alignment about what it is that we both want and need to feel heard, valued, appreciated, loved in a relationship, then we will look for solutions that can benefit both of us. Now, obviously, there are times where you guys are going to disagree. That's just a part of being two totally different human beings. We're not always going to see eye to eye, but that doesn't mean that I have to always win or you have to always win. The thing is, what you want is for there to be peace and there to be harmony in your relationship. You want connection. So if I'm busy trying to win and you're busy trying to win, then we're fighting against each other. And if we're fighting against each other, then we're enemies. So how are we going to connect and bond, be on a deeper level, transform our marriage into something powerful and beautiful and prosperous and passionate if we're fighting against each other and we're enemies? We're enemies. I don't trust you. So that means that I can't open my heart or my bedroom to you if I don't trust you. It's a trickle down effect. So there has to be a mutual agreement that I'm not trying to win, you're not trying to win. We're trying to find resolution. We're trying to resolve this. And we want to move toward a place of peace. And we want to be connected to each other. And we're just trying to love on each other, right? What's more important? Loving each other or winning? Having peace or winning? Both of you moving in a positive direction, in a healthy direction, or winning? Honestly, when you're both moving in a positive direction and you're transforming your relationship and you're connecting and you loving each other, isn't that a win? I'm just saying. That's the way I see it. So, oh my gosh, this time goes like so fast. I don't even understand like how it happens, but it does. And we are out of time. I'm so sorry, you guys. I just want to say that we here at Couples Academy value you guys so much, watching every morning, jumping in here, posting your questions. Julian Gonzalez being in the feed, showing up, giving the people the responses about how to find things when sometimes we miss it because we're just trying to give you guys information. We appreciate your support so much. Don't forget that you can donate to help other couples be able to have access to our services when they cannot afford them. So you definitely can support us in that way as well. You can find information about that through the app or the website, which I know you are all going to log off and download the app as soon as we hang up, get off, disconnect, whatever it is that you're tuned in with. But again, we just want to thank you for your support, and we hope to see you guys tomorrow morning. Thank you so much, and you guys have an awesome day.